Well, good afternoon. I'm happy to be here for this virtual roast. We're outdoors, being safe during this very difficult time. We're all very sorry we're not able to have the roast this year. But I'm Marty Mitchell. I'm with Mitchell&Best. We've been in business for 45 years now, and as you well know, my father, Bob Mitchell, founded our company, as well as Home Builders Care Foundation. He really thought it was important back in the 1980s, and we have the same sort of issues today, that home builders and developers were perceived as the enemy. And the whole idea was to try to address that, and as he said, put a white hat on the home builders by showing all the different things that home builders do throughout the area and now throughout the country, because the program was taken nationally by my dad when he was president in 2000 of NAHB. So that's an incredible legacy, and it's incredible for our local association to be the first one that ever existed under Home Builders Care. My dad obviously is very proud to have Rich be an honoree this year, and typical of Rich, you know, it can't be just about Rich. You gotta spread the good news around, and that's what we're here to do today. Talk a little bit about what we've done, what we know other builders might have done, and do the best we can in these times to celebrate Rich's accomplishments and Rich's never-ending give back to us, to the community at large. I've known Rich probably for about close to 20 years. I followed him on the exec board ladder about 8 or 9 years after his being president. I was president of the local association at that point in time. So I was able to follow and watch him come up through the exec board ranks in the late 1990s and then early 2000 when he was president. And it was kind of funny because my dad was off at NAHB during most of the late 1990s and was not able to come to a lot of our board meetings. And I can recall one board meeting that he did attend, and Rich was either president or vice president at that time, and we had a very big issue that we were dealing with. And Rich got on, and he's talking really fast, and his hands and his arms are flying all over the place, and everybody's like, well, he's right, okay, yeah. So we're all following him and everything. So we leave the meeting, and my dad looks at me because he had not been around as much, and he's like, who's that guy who talks so fast and waves his arms all the time when he's talking about something? And I said, well, that's Rich, you know, he's running the association, he's president. And I said, when he gets going like that, you know he knows the issues, you know he's on top of it, and you know he's going to advocate for our industry, for whatever it might be. And he was on that subject matter, no matter whether it was environmental, whether it was codes, or anything else. Rich, I don't think sleeps. I think he deals with these issues 24/7, and when he gets going, he knows all the facts and all the details. So as an advocate to the industry, he's an incredible person, but then also as an honoree for this award to have given back as much as he has through Home Builders Care and as other things that he does throughout the community is very important and a great thing and a great person that we're honoring here. I talked a little bit about Home Builders Care going back 35 years. There was an Operation Tom Sawyer, which preceded that, which was a local thing. And then in order to change the perception, it became Home Builders Care 35 years ago and grew. We've been active very much because of my dad being involved. A couple of the big projects that I remember, we took on a remodel of a townhouse. I believe it was on A Street in DC. Northeast, right near RFK Stadium. And funny enough, when we got there, my dad looked around and he said, you see that apartment building across the street? That's where I lived when I was first couple years old. So we were able to go back into a neighborhood where he lived, which has gone through some difficult times. We went into the house thinking we were just going to try to help the daughter because she was unable to get up and down the steps. She was in a wheelchair. Her mom basically was a full-time caregiver. And when I interviewed with her, she said, you know, my daughter, now that she's older, I can't carry her up and down the steps. And for the last 10 to 15 years, she's never had more than a sponge bath. And she said, I would love to be able to take her somewhere and be able to have her take a shower and take care of her daily hygiene. So we went in and we found a large pantry, and we went through the whole process of converting that pantry into a roll-in shower so that she could take a shower every day whenever she wanted to. But as we got into the house, we found out that the roof was leaking. So we had contractors from our industry and helped us out, went up on the roof, patched the roof. There was some other things within the house, some railings that were loose or off. We took care of those. And it was just anybody who's done this project, which is basically everybody who's watching, knows how wonderful that feels when you're done with something like that and you know you've touched somebody's life in that way and it will change them. And the mother obviously was crying when we finished. We cleaned up the yard. There was no grass. We planted flowers. So that was a great project and a great memory for everybody at Mitchell&Best. We also did a substantial renovation and expansion of hospice caring up in Gaithersburg near Summit Hall. And that was a very large project. And obviously we've done other smaller projects over the years with Home Builders Care. And it's always a great time when you have an opportunity to do it. And hopefully we'll be able to continue to do projects as we go into the future. We have still a strong commitment to Home Builders Care. My sister Linda is on the board of Home Builders Care. She served many years in that position. We individually, just like everybody who's watching, we make contributions to Home Builders Care. The company has made contributions to Home Builders Care in honor of certain people in the past. So we try to do our best to continue to be actively involved and also be a contributor to Home Builders Care as we go on in the future. So because of what Rich wants, he wants us to, talk about some other things. During this pandemic itself, as an active member of the Rockville Rotary Club and the Rotary Foundation, we were trying to find something quick that we could do to help out in this situation. And we worked out with the district, which is all of Central Maryland, and they contributed $5,000 and we contributed $5,000 to Nourish Now, which has seen a huge spike in their number of people they're serving. And they're serving coronavirus patients that aren't in the hospital but are trying to isolate or maybe homeless, and they're in a hotel, and the hospice or the Nourish Now is taking them food on a daily basis to keep them going while they're fighting the coronavirus as we go forward. I think Rotary will continue to contribute. We're looking at putting millions of dollars from Rotary International. And if you're not a Rotarian, and this is a perfect thing for Rich, we have something we call the four-way test. And it's, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and friendships? And is it beneficial to all? And everything you think, do, and say, if you think about that four-way test, you know you're doing the right thing if you can answer yes to all of those things. Rich's life and Rich's accomplishments and what he's done with the association, what he's done with Home Builders Care, certainly would answer yes to all that. He's done a tremendous job for 25 plus years as his involvement in the association. With that, I'd like to give a heartfelt thank you to Rich. Congratulations, well-deserved award from everybody at Mitchell&Best, and particularly from my dad, Robert Mitchell, who the award is named after. Despite his first not knowing who the guy's hands are flying around, he certainly has become a fan of Rich's, just like all of us. So Rich, congratulations on this big achievement, and thank you for all you do for Home Builders Care and the industry.